All right, so today we're gonna go ahead and be actually making the biggest difference you could do from a driver's perspective to the S550. Walking over here, you go ahead and see we have this beautiful box. It is a beautiful carbon fiber with the actual carbon fiber grips here, with the actual REV lights here. If you guys actually haven't seen this, we actually have one in the Shelby GT500 and I love it. Now this is gonna go ahead and change the game. Like I said, one of the biggest impacts you can make from a driver's perspective is to have a nice steering wheel, something nice to grip onto like this while you're driving, or if you're going performance wise. Now we're securely putting the actual carbon fiber steering wheel in the back here, closing this up. Now we can actually go ahead and hop in and actually head to the shop. Custom Works over here is where we're actually going to get it done at. All right, so we're actually back out here at Fresno here at Custom Works. They're gonna go ahead and be actually doing the install. They've actually knocked out many of the steering wheel installs here locally, as well as with the LEDs. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and let them take care of it, because we are gonna end up dropping the car off. So we are actually gonna go ahead and be getting the big wing put back on. So we're probably gonna go ahead and drop it off like I said, and then actually end up coming back for it later. All right, so before we actually get started up, a huge shout out to Custom Interior, because they're actually the ones who actually have the steering wheel up on their page. I'll go ahead and drop the link down below. But with that being said, we also have the interior here with the actual seat covers, along with the actual mats down there to match. Because this all comes from one website, you go ahead and see we have the red stitching down there. And of course, we got to go ahead and match. So we also got the red stitching on the steering wheel to go ahead and actually complete the entire look of the interior. So this is going to be that final missing piece there. Now, as mentioned, this is definitely something you could possibly do in your garage. However, we're going to go ahead and actually have someone that's completely professional at the shop actually go ahead and handle this. And again, if you're actually going to go ahead and be in the SoCal area, you go ahead and actually pick yourself up one as well and bring it down here to have them installed as well. All right, so step one is going to go ahead and be make sure you actually disconnect the battery, because you're going to be dealing with the air system here with the actual airbag, and the last thing you want to do is have an airbag go off in your face. So again, forewarning, always disconnect the air, or disconnect the battery. Now with the airbag actually safely removed, to go ahead and go over what you actually went ahead and did. So on the side of the steering wheel, you're gonna go ahead and see there's actually gonna be 2 pins, and what that's actually doing is you're sliding through the hole with the little pin there, so that way you can remove this clip. That would actually disconnect the airbag itself, and then you just gotta go ahead and actually undo the clips there on the airbag to disconnect it from the actual vehicle. All right, and pretty much you go ahead and see the pin sliding through the hole, and that will actually disconnect the plastic trim from the airbag, so it releases from the vehicle itself. And you go ahead and see that big old bolt there, that's actually going to go ahead and be a 24. We're gonna go ahead and actually, you can do it by hand, or if you have a little cheat gun here, you go ahead and get that done out. And just like that, makes it a lot easier.
Be torquing it back on, a lot tight.
And as simple as that, the steering wheel itself is gonna go ahead and be off. You just gotta feed the wires through, and then you can go ahead and see the steering wheel. There it is. And make sure the clock spring does not move, so that way you can go ahead and just put it back on instead of having to mess with the alignment of every sort. With that being said, now you gotta go ahead and actually remove all the OEM pieces here over to the new steering wheel, the new and improved steering wheel, I should say that. So to actually start removing all the plastic trims, you're gonna go ahead and remove a bunch of T20s.
Get in there.
And you'll find real quick that every piece that you start to remove, you'll see some more of the T20s behind those set pieces, and you just keep on going until you have all the OEM pieces moved over.
And they should pop out. Clearly like this.
And just like that, it is completely stripped apart. So you go ahead and see this is actually what comes with the system here, so that way you can go ahead and plug it into the port down here. At the same time, it also has this extra wire in case you need to wire it through like he was mentioning. But you should be able to get everything wired up here on the top. So right now, after doing a tester, you just go ahead and try to figure out which wire is actually staying on when the car's on, and when you turn it off, it turns off, because the last thing you want is your steering wheel to literally stay on the entire time, even when your car is completely off. So we're finding with this model, you actually have to go ahead and put a pin with the red wire to one of these up here by the black, and then to an empty slot in the black, I should say, and then actually pin another one underneath the column here next to the purple wire at the bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and get that done off camera. Can never go wrong with some decals. Just getting it positioned right now, but sheesh, looks good when you got some fresh new ones on here. All right, so now we actually have the steering wheel, and I'll go ahead and show you guys actually how to get to this menu after we set ours up. But I was just playing with it a little bit here. So we're gonna go ahead and actually be changing the color to this magenta color for our first two, more than likely. I'm gonna get rid of the green. To be honest, on the Shelby, the one that we actually raced, and we will be getting another steering wheel like this for the dark horse, so stay tuned for that. Red, as our brains are pretty consistent when it comes to racing, we know that's the shift light. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave the top one red, and we're gonna probably change again, magenta, and maybe blue. I'm still deciding what to do on these other colors. All right, so just to show you guys, we're going through, it has LED 1, LED 2, LED 3, LED 4, all the way to LED 5, so that way you could pretty much pick your lights. So this one is set as green right now. We're gonna go ahead and actually hold the right one to go ahead and push into the green. And then now we're here, we can actually go ahead and start to go through them. So we have blue, we have this cyan, so I might do cyan. We have red, like I said. Looks like yellow, magenta, white, green, and then back to blue. We're probably gonna go ahead and do these two magenta, the first two, because honestly we have the car. Because as you guys have seen, the car, it has like that purple color to it. And I think I'm gonna do blue. So I think I'll probably leave it like this. It's a little different. I like the colors, to be honest. But we have blue and then red at the top, because again, that is our shift light. All right, so let's go ahead and test it out. We've just backed out. Let's make sure everything's saved. I have it in quiet mode because I don't want to be that neighbor, but oh yeah, that looks good. And now to show you guys real quick, you're gonna go ahead and actually hold the button there, and this takes you into the settings here, and you can go ahead and go further into whichever one you can play around with these. But to change the lights, you go ahead and select this right one right here with the one that looks like two lines. We're gonna go ahead and actually hold on to that, and then that's what actually take you into the color options. And again, whenever you're wanting to select something on there, you just hold this one, and then this left one is the back. All right, so we went ahead and turned on quiet start along with quiet mode, so that way we can actually start this thing up. Go on my phone. So it's not too bad, but we have the start up for the actual steering wheel there. And again, we do have the magenta lights, which is really cool, going with the star lights now. So we have the full nighttime effect here. And we're letting the car idle down just a little bit, and then we're probably just gonna go ahead and just do a little one tap. That's all we're gonna do because it's nighttime, but that's actually super cool because we have all of this effect going on now.